Hi YouTube. I'm really late with this July favourites video. I was away at the end of the month, and so I was kind of using a smaller selection of things really. Being away made me focus when I was packing on what I could really use by adapting the same products for different looks and things that would be useful in the day in quite a casual environment. And then because the holiday was going on, we had to dress up quite a lot. We didn't have to. We enjoyed dressing up quite a lot in the evening. There were some quite formal events. It was a chance to experiment with evening makeup. So I did take quite a lot of makeup away with me, and it was quite interesting that I ended up using a lot of the same products, which I've picked out, and you see in front of you. Now, some of them are not products that are now still available, so I'm not going to talk a lot about them because it seems a bit stupid to me really when you see a video and people are going on and on about a product that you can't now get, although obviously you might be able to get similar things. So I'm going to try and focus on the things that are standard items or that you can still get, although one or two of them are difficult to get in the UK. They're much more freely available in the States. So starting off, I took with me as coverage a new BB cream that I have been trying out, which is not in front of you because it's not yet one of my favourites, and that's the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau, which has had a lot of positive comments on YouTube. Now, it's the first non-drugstore BB cream that I've used, and I've only used one other drugstore Maybelline BB cream that I didn't really rate very much, but I thought perhaps that was because it was a cheap product. So the caveat to my comments really would be that it may be that BB creams are just not for me, because I'm not really getting on terribly well with the Lingerie de Peau. I find it quite tacky and difficult to apply. I find that it changes colour a lot as it oxidises on my skin. So the colour that I bought, because it looked okay when I applied it, and wore it for 5 minutes or so before I bought it, is not the colour it turns out to look 2 hours later, and I find that really annoying. So my BB cream, which I took really as a daytime coverage, didn't turn out that well. So I found myself turning more and more to the foundation combination that I had. In particular, this product, which the tube, I've used it such a lot, it's worn away a bit, and it's by Terry, and it's a Cover Expert, and I'm not sure what tone it was in, but it's very pale, one of the palest ones with a slightly yellowy undertone. It's looking actually darker on the screen than it is in reality. You can see the tube's horribly messy because it's been standing up. Now I have to say, I've got a lot of foundations on the go at the moment and several favourites. If push came to shove, I would probably rate this highest of them all. It's quite pricey. I think a tube of this size is probably about £40 now. In Space NK, you can get it, probably other stores as well. But like a lot of By Terry products, it's seriously good quality. It's medium to high coverage, I would say, but it doesn't feel sticky or tacky. It's not horribly cakey on the skin. It's easy to apply. It smells nice, and it lasts really well. It's a seriously good foundation in my opinion. Because that's a sort of all-round year shade for me, I have been warming it up with this Shiseido Perfect Refining Foundation with an SPF of 15 in this tiny dinky little bottle, which I like a lot for travel, in shade 120, which is one of the lighter shades, but is, to be honest, too dark for me. Now this is a much more liquidy foundation. You need a tiny bit. It does spread very well. It's a light to medium coverage. I would say again, this oxidizes a little bit and goes darker. I don't find it on its own particularly effective. It doesn't, to me, refine my pores as much as, for example, this one does. And it may be that the colour is not helping, but I have used it to mix in with other lighter foundations. I use it with my Chanel as well, and it works very well like that. So those two serious favourites this month, along with this product, which is difficult to get in the UK at the moment. You can get it on various websites. It's by Becca, and it's the Shimmering Skin Perfector SPF 25, so very good to wear in the day. Comes in about 5 different shades that basically give you a glowy look. So you can wear the product on its own just to liven up your skin a bit. It's not going to give you any coverage. Or, and this is what I like to do, wear it under my foundation. Works pretty well as a primer, but more to the point, the kind of slightly pearlized look, this shade I should say is Pearl, which was the right one for me, is really, really pretty, and I seriously rate that product. Bought it in the States where you can get it in Sephora, and I've been using it all the time. For eye products, one that I would mention that you can just about still get in the UK because it's part of the summer Tom Ford collection, one of the cream colours for the eyes. I missed out on the champagne coloured one, which is sold out everywhere, but Pink Haze is still available. These again, expensive, but you need the tiniest amount, and it almost works as a primer as well as what would be a very pretty colour on the eyelid, but I tend to use it as a base for other shadows. It adds depth to them. It's a much creamier consistency than the Maybelline Colour Tattoos, which I like, are much cheaper. Not as long lasting, not as good a base, but perfectly acceptable for the price. And a very different texture to the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre, which I also like. I would prefer them on their own than this product, but they don't work as well as a base for other eyeshadows. But this is a nice product. It's lasting very, very well. I think I'll get a lot of use out of it to justify the price. And what I found myself using with that as a base a lot on holiday was this palette, which is a limited edition Tom Ford. You can't get it now except on the internet. I bought it on eBay, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it, except to say it's my first Tom Ford eye palette, and although you can't get this particular combination, which has very light brown shades apart from that one which I use as a liner, I am very impressed with the consistency. I like a bit of sheen or glitter, but not a load of chunky fallout, and Tom Ford is doing that supremely well, certainly in this palette. The other thing I would mention that I quite like, I hate sponge applicators normally, but this one, this little one here, the shape with the pointy bit, actually is very, very effective for applying as a liner. So I actually prefer it to my kind of more professional tools. So definitely endorsing the Tom Ford eye palettes, eye quads, I think they're called. If they're all as good as that one, which was a limited edition, but there are lots in the permanent edition. One lipstick I'm not going to talk a lot about because, again, it came from the MAC Marilyn collection, so it was limited edition. I've been wearing this all the time. It's just the perfect nude for me, kind of warm pinky nude. That was Pure Zen, but there are similar shades in the permanent collection. They're very nice consistency in the summer. Love this product. I'm not usually a big gloss wearer. This is the VS Victoria's Secret Pro Holographic Lip Shimmer, which I bought in Victoria's Secret. I don't know if you can get it in the London branch. I don't know if they do makeup there. I haven't been yet, but you can definitely get it in the States and online. Not showing brilliantly well, but it's a fantastic golden, shimmery, pinky gloss that looks really good on its own. lasts quite well. It's a nice consistency, or it looks great over other colours, and I was really loving these two together with a dramatic eye, so definitely liking that. Also, you can get at the moment in the fall collection for Laura Mercier, Spellbound, the face illuminator. Really useful product. I've been using it as an eyeshadow, which you're not supposed to, but it works fine over the Tom Ford cream eye colour base. Or it's meant to be used as an illuminator. I was actually using it very, very sparingly as a setting powder because I like a little bit of shimmer glow, and it's not too glittery. It just gives a lovely, lovely livening tone. As my illuminator, I've been loving this one, which is the Candlelight Celestial Powder from Kevyn Aucoin. It's a very light, fine powder, and in fact I'm using it up quite quickly, but gives the most magnificent luminous glow to cheekbones, brow bones. Probably my favourite highlighter at the moment, and I have a serious number of them and really like them, so definitely enjoying that, and that will go into winter as well. And I used as my bronzer the Terracotta Aura from Guerlain's summer collection, which is still available with a nice little gold centre, a useful sort of alternative. One thing I will say that has been a favourite of mine last month was a makeup tip that I read or saw online, which was kind of reversing the use of bronzer and blusher. In other words, placing your blusher, and I was using more or less constantly the NARS multiple in Orgasm as my creamy blusher, but using that just under the cheekbone as effectively as sculpting, and then putting on the cheekbone and the apples of your cheek a light bronzer. So doing the reverse of how we usually apply. Actually, it looked very good, particularly in the day. So, you know, maybe some people will want to try that. So I'm not going to talk about this extra blusher. Those are my July favourites, and if you liked any of them, let me know, or any recommendations. Always very glad to see them. See you again next month. Bye for now.